Oh man, whew. It's been a day already, but I got a lot of stuff done. Henry and I were tighter than we've ever been before. Today we're getting some coffee, but there's been a recent conversation sprouting about video games and the video game awards, and also there has been some grumblings about stuff like Call of Duty's lack of delivery with their newest game. And it sparked a thought in my mind, which is value. How do you determine the value of a game? Is it the length? Is it the price, I guess, would dictate the value, but is it the length of the game? Is it the amount of things to do in the game? Is it the gameplay? Or a remake, whatever? How do you determine the value? And well, I was playing some World of Warcraft the other night, which was a lot of fun, and I can't recommend it enough. If you've ever played World of Warcraft, it's super fun to go back to. And so I was playing some World of Warcraft, and my good friend Chase said something that I didn't really think of until recently, which was I was playing, and I'm like, oh, there's a waypoint now? Oh, man, I'm leveling up quickly. He goes, yeah, this game really respects your time now. And I was like, oh, cool, yeah, that's a really great thing to hear. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, respects my time? Time. Up until, I would say, just this past couple of years, I equated the value of a game with how long it took to play it. I thought to myself, okay, so if this is a good game, it must be long. It must have a significant amount of content jam-packed into it. And honestly, if I look back to some of my favorite games, they aren't that long. Super Mario World, you can beat in a few hours, maybe 4 or 5 if you're not playing any secret levels or trying to skip anything. Ocarina of Time isn't tremendously long. What, 20 hours maybe? And these games, they're not that long. But when you're younger, it seems like they are. So as I got older, I thought, wow, Breath of the Wild has so much value. There's so much to play. There's so much to do. All these shrines, all these different things to collect. The Korok seeds, which is really actually quite asinine, the amount that they give you. Super Mario Odyssey. Look at all the stuff you can do. There's so much value. And then I played a game like Super Mario Wonder, where I thought to myself, this is a shorter game, but there's a tremendous amount of value. One, there's replay value, which is I would consider to be extremely important when it comes to a game. For me, is I want to be able to, play it again and have fun and try new ways. Look at Metroid Dread, a game that blew 2022 out of the water. Shorter game, but tremendous value there. And then we have games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which is a $70 game in some ways, upwards of $99, $100 if you're buying it with all the extra add-ons and stuff like that. And is the value there? And I think that some of it can be subjective. I believe that value can be subjective in some ways. I find Super Mario Wonder to be tremendously valuable. I would spend $60 all over again to buy a second version of the game, or a second copy of the game, just so I can play alongside my daughter. But I find it to be wildly valuable. Whereas someone's like a 2D Mario platformer in 2023, I'm sorry, it's just at $60, no thank you. Or Super Mario RPG. Now this is a game that is causing a little bit of controversy because it's a shorter game, 15 to 17 hours. So it says, at least that's the original one, maybe 20 if you're taking your time. It's a remake of a game that came out in the 90s on the Super Nintendo. Now it looks great. Look, Link's Awakening, a similar kind of situation. That was a Game Boy title. Not Game Boy Advance, not Game Boy Color, although they did re-release the DX version on Game Boy Color. And I suppose that Link's Awakening on the Nintendo Switch is the Game Boy Color version because it does have the Color Dungeon, kind of. And so, I guess that tracks. But these games are $60. Are they worth the $60? When we have Metroid Prime Remaster being $50. When we have, or I think it's 40 actually. I don't know, I'm sorry. It's just not $60. When we have a game like Mirage, Assassin's Creed Mirage, a $50 game. Because value is tied to monetary price or monetary value or whatever. And does the $70 price tag of something like Tears of the Kingdom match? And I would say that Tears of the Kingdom, though I understand what they did, and you got to pay the bills, though I don't think that they're running short on money. I look at that and I go, can the ask, the $70 value, $70 ask, match the value? And for a game like Tears of the Kingdom, for me, I think that the difference between a $59.99 and a $69.99 is inconsequential. Doesn't matter, right? Really doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna buy it regardless. I'm a fan of the franchise, but no, I don't. I don't think that there's anything more in, especially, Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, it looks better and there's different mechanics, but I don't think that we got anything game-breaking or substantially different that would warrant the increase. But again, value. How do we as gamers look at a game and think somewhat objectively, where's the value here? And I'm going to dive deeper into it as I caffeinate. Second cup of coffee for the day because I am exhausted. Kids were up all night. It was a mess. But this cup of coffee is a little different. We are going with a coffee we've done before. This is indeed the Rwanda. Is this the Rwanda? Yes, this is the Rwanda. The Asimbi. Yeah, we're back on that. And the Verve coffee one. But we're changing the recipe. I want a little coarser. I want 14 clicks on the third instead of 13. We're going a little bit less coffee, and we're increasing the ratio. So we were doing 25 and then coming out at 425. I don't remember. I don't know what the exact ratio of that is. 15. Oh, that is 15 to 1. No, it's not. Is that 17 to 1? 15 times 25 is 350. And then, no, it's 375 plus another. Yeah, so that's 17 to 1. We're going down in ratio. We're going to 300. So this is a 15 to 1 ratio. We have 20 grams in, and we're going to be doing 300 grams out. And we're going a little bit cooler on the water. We're going 199 degrees versus the 202 that I've been doing before. So we're going to see how this all tastes, if I can get a little bit more brightness out of it. That's what I'm going for. I want to see if I can get a little bit more brightness and also shorten these videos just a hair. The 29 to 30, the 20 or the 25 to 40 minute thing is great. I'd love to get these closer to 20. That is my goal here. I like the long form. We're having fun, but I think 20 is going to be our sweet spot. I doubt we're going to hit that today because this took a little longer to set up. But either way, value. How do we objectively look at a game and say there is value here? Well, I think the first thing to take into consideration when it comes to a game and its value is, first and foremost, always price. We have full price games, and then we have what would be considered a non-full price game. Full price game would be the market price that we are seeing consistently in the gaming space on that given console. Looks like console gaming as a whole is, as it stands, this next gen PS5 and Xbox, we're seeing $70 games, and the Nintendo Switch, we are seeing $60 games. At least the first party ones. And then going from there, we are looking at, PC gamings like on Steam Deck. Almost nothing is full price unless you're getting a launch day title, which is what it is. But it's looking like between 60 and 70. So let's just round up and let's stick to $70. Okay. So we have $70 games. Let's look at some of the big ones. We have Call of Duty. That Modern Warfare 3, which is shaking the world. We have what people complain about, which are fixes that they made that they're passing off as features. A campaign that was 3 hours long, and it's riddled with bugs. I think that where we're at in the gaming space, it's unfortunate. We're getting games that are not fully complete. We're getting games that have a lot of updates, and some that need more updates than they're getting right off the rip. I'll tell you, some of the most impressive things that I've seen in these past year, in this year of gaming, are games that came out more recently, like Mario Wonder. That game out the box was like flawless. We're dealing with a game that didn't need massive updates right away. It didn't need to be addressed. There weren't issues. There weren't game-breaking bugs. But then games just months prior, like Scarlet and Violet, we had severe issues, game-breaking bugs. And we're looking and we're going, what is happening? Where is the dissonance? Where is the disconnect? Not dissonance, but disconnect in these franchises. And to be honest, I don't know, because Pokemon is such a massive franchise, and I know very little about behind the scenes of the Pokemon Company and Game Freak and all that stuff. But when it comes to that game, it seems like there was a huge opportunity missed, like massive opportunity missed there. And then we have stuff like Wonder, which is insane. Now, Pokemon does have longer and more content, but we're looking, and if we're going to do apples to apples, I'm seeing the gameplay. And this is where I think we have the objective feeling. I think there is, if you're playing a game and you have to yeah but it, that is that, or the I know that, those two instances. Let me give you an example. Starfield is insanely cool. I'm having a great time. There's so much. I know that there are some issues when it comes to this, or stuff like that. Those kind of statements, when those exist, that rationale, it seems very interesting to me. Starfield, a massive game. We're seeing it if you look at Cup 14, I did my picks for the Video Game Awards, and what I think deserves, different things, a lot of which I didn't play. But my picks for the Video Game Awards, and we're seeing Starfield didn't get as many slots as we anticipated, especially based on the hype and all the different things there. And I think it's because it's one of those things where more isn't necessarily better, right? We have there's so much value. There's 1,000 planets. That's not a value proposition. That's almost homework, if I'm being honest with you. And the gameplay suffers tremendously when it comes to it, because you're having to basically dump this laundry list of things to push that this game is worth the money, when in reality, the real thing that I think drives value in game, and that drives a true honest price tag, is experience, is the real, full experience, the full package. When you get the game, is it working? When you get the game, is it complete? Or are we getting things like Mortal Kombat 1 where they're selling fatalities? I don't know if you know this. I was listening to Morning News on Spawnwave, and they were talking, he was talking about how there is an issue with fatalities. You can actually microtransact a fatality. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, hold on. There's still a little bit of bitterness on the end I don't like. I don't know what that is. I think I have to go a little bit coarser. I think that's what happened there. We're going to go a little coarser on the next one. So it's a 14 click. We're going to go 15 clicks on the next one. Keep the ratios the same. I'm actually going to click it now so I don't forget. We're going to click a little coarser. We're going to coarse is this way. One click. So it's ready. It's on a 15 now for next time. I'm going to clean it out and make sure that we have no microparticles in there, but we're going to go 15. Yeah, microtransactions. Purchase yourself a fatality. There was a Christmas one apparently that was worth $10, and that's the way that they're fixing it, and is instead of refunding the people who purchased the $10 fatality, they're going, how about instead we give you 2 extra ones? So basically you got 3 for $10. We're purchasing fatalities. That's where we're at. I'm not going to speak into skins in game because I know that is its own cup of coffee, whatever it may be. I'm not going to argue or defend it. I'm not going to attack it. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. Games like Call of Duty have in-game currency where you can purchase skins. Games like Fortnite, which is a free game for the most part. Well, actually, it's completely free. Everything is cosmetic, which I do enjoy. And I don't think, for the most part, that it's there's any pay to win. I know there are some skins and some emotes that could potentially give you a smaller hitbox or harder to see. And so people are like, it's finally pay to win. But in reality, Fortnite isn't that way. And games like Pokemon Unite, these, again, games as a service games that you have different things, and those end up becoming microtransaction heavy. But off the rip, those games aren't inherently priced. They're free, except for Call of Duty. We're in a really weird spot in gaming, and I think that the weirdest spot of all is the criticism, to be honest. Modern Warfare 3 seems to be, for lack of a better term, a complete dumpster fire of a situation. People across the board are upset. I think I'm one of the only people that's enjoying the game, personally. I think the game's great. I'm having a great time, and I don't like Call of Duty. I actually want to play it. I played it last night. And I'm having a blast. I think that there is a general conversation around the change and the shift in gaming around finances. Stuff costs more money. It is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is. Does it have to cost the gamer that much? That's the question. And I would say no. That doesn't change that. That's the situation. I think that maybe, just maybe, we might be able to enjoy and gain more value out of the games if instead of looking for where we've been shorted, we try to look for where we have not been shorted and choose to enjoy the very thing that has been created for us, the gamer. Are there games out there that are there just to make money and offer no value? Sure. Look at the Nintendo eShop. There are plenty of $1 and $2 games that clearly are just there to make $1 or $2. Do I think a AAA title like Scarlet and Violet are intentionally created to be broken? No, not at all. Do I think that that game wasn't given the attention it deserved? Oh, certainly yes. But I don't believe that they created it broken just to piss off the community at all. And the outcry that exists is out of frustration, and I think that it's very, very warranted. You can be frustrated, but to apply that frustration across the board and turn it into just this cynicism almost, and this hatred towards all these things, and then lash out at companies and just fill the negative space, right? Not the negative space, but the negative space. The space that's fully negative is a waste of time. I don't see changes. Now, I will say the Mortal Kombat price point thing was an issue. The community said, hey, this isn't right, and it changed. So there is a give and take that does exist. But for the most part, the constructiveness that would come from a critical conversation often is not why people are deciding to have those conversations. And so when it comes to the value of games that I've seen over these past couple of years, I think there is an objective formula. Number one, is the game complete? Yes or no? Okay, actually let's go one prior. Does the game need to be fixed when you get it? Okay, if the answer is yes, then that takes off some value. If the answer is, no, not really, no, there's a little thing here and there, a little hiccup, but, we're good. Great. Awesome. Look at that. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom was incredible. The only reason why they started dropping patches wasn't to fix things, it was to stop the dupes, which, is its own conversation. Second thing is the game complete? Are you getting a full game? Are you getting everything that you need to enjoy the game? And if you are, awesome. If you're not, and there's a roadmap, great. Okay, we have a roadmap. If it's like Wii Resort, where it's like, hey, here's 6 sports and we'll release the other 4 eventually, or Mario Golf, the same thing, it's weird. It's weird. I don't like that at all. Am I going to scream about it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Should gaming companies wait an extra 6 months to give us the complete thing? Yes, because look what happens. Mario Wonder has been out for a month and it's nominated for Game of the Year. Can you let that sink in for a second? It's been out for a month and it's nominated for Game of the Year. And I'd be surprised, honestly. Well, no, I'd be surprised if it won because what it's up against. But still, it's nominated for Game of the Year. Up against a game like Baldur's Gate 3, which is, I just saw someone in our Discord, I'm not going to out them, but they have over 250 hours in that game. Right? So that's the second thing, complete. The third thing, which I think arguably the most important that gets forgotten is it a game that you enjoy? You. Who gives a rat's butt who likes it and who doesn't? There are games I love that other people don't, right? I will not say I love Modern Warfare 3 because I don't love it, but I like it a lot. And people are running their mouths on it, and I look at it and I go, yeah, sure, they may have reasons for it. I'm not attached to the franchise, but for me, it's great. And I paid $99, baby. I got the whole thing, the whole shebang, because I'm going for it. World of Warcraft, I am loving every minute as Darren the Panda. That's me. I'm a monk. I'm Darren the Panda. Yeah, I just outed myself. I play WoW. I have stated it once before, many times, not once. I think that we are in a spot where we need a shift in narrative. And that shift is, I don't see it as much. And if I have to start it, then let's start it here. Focusing on what doesn't work and focusing on the problems only is not going to bring forth any sort of solution. All it's going to bring forth is frustration and cynicism. While I think it's important to discuss the while I think it's important to discuss the problems, I don't believe that it is wildly productive to speak of shortcomings all the time and to broadcast that disgruntlement on a regular basis. Grouping together and making videos like, I'm not even going to speak into YouTube because who cares? Let's change that, guys. Let's be excited. Someone in my Discord, I think it was Dean, who was like, yo, dude, I just missed the simplicity that it was back when gaming was a thing when I was a kid. They didn't say it that way, but Dean, I know what you meant. And I think we can have that again. Maybe not the whimsy. No, maybe the whimsy, but maybe not the complete abandonment of responsibility. But the whimsy still exists, and all it requires is you to choose whimsy over cynicism. I think it's possible, guys. I really do. I can honestly say that this was a better recipe than it was before. It's not perfect. We got time. I have maybe, how many more doses here? Maybe 3 more cups worth. Maybe 2. 2 or 3. Let's try to get locked in the next 2. This new recipe for this coffee, and then it's gone. I'll eventually actually be upgrading all of this coffee gear over the next couple of months as the Black Friday deals go on. If you would like coffee lessons and different stuff like that, let me know in the comments, and I'll start doing those. Do you want videos that are just coffee and I can teach you how to make coffee, or is that something I should save for something else? I need your opinion. It's important to me. All right, guys, enough of that. Go play some video games, have some fun, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for your coffee. But most of all, happy gaming.